This is a story about a woman named Mildred Blount, whose artistic work has been enjoyed by millions and millions of people for the last 75 years. How, you may ask? Well, she was the creator of all the hats in the movie Gone with the Wind. At one time, Mildred Blount was considered one of the top 4 hat designers in the United States. This story is how she came to design those hats for Vivian Leigh, as well as hats for Judy Garland in Easter Parade. Mildred said she was always fascinated by hats. Having been born in 1907 and lived during the first half of the 20th century, she lived during a time when hats were a very important part of a woman's wardrobe. She was born and orphaned at a very young age in North Carolina and was sent to live in New York. And there in New York is where her talent started to flourish. At 17, in 1924, Mildred designed the headwear of the bridesmaids of Madam C.J. Walker's granddaughter. Now, this wedding was a high society affair, and how Mildred, at only 17, was given this job is unknown. But as records later show, she had a knack for being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people who appreciated her hat designing talent. After attending Hunter College in Cooper Union, Mildred got a job in 1929 at age 22 as an apprentice with the John-Frederics hat salon. This company was owned by Mr. John P. John and Mr. Frederick Hurst, and together they built a premier hat company that thrived from the very beginning. At the height of the Depression, they employed 20 full-time workers, and Mildred was their only employee of color. Now, Mildred had a love of history as well as hats, and she very cleverly combined her two loves by making 87 miniature hats from the 17th to the 19th centuries. Some of these tiny hats took a whole week to make, but Mildred didn't stop there. She then submitted her miniature hat collection to the New York World's Fair in 1939, where it was displayed during the whole summer. And this is where Irene Selznick, wife of David O. Selznick, producer of Gone with the Wind, saw Mildred Blount's hats from the 1800s, the same time period as the movie. Well, Mrs. Selznick recommended Mildred to her husband, and he hired her to design all of Scarlett O'Hara's hats in his movie. Even though it was Mildred's work that got the contract, it was Mildred's boss, John-Frederics, that got the credit. But that didn't bother Mildred. That was how business was done. Her company promoted her to senior hat designer, sent her to Hollywood to work on the picture, and to open a West Coast branch. Besides, Mr. John, one of the owners, always, publicly and privately, gave Mildred Blount credit for making those hats. This is what Mr. John said about her. The hands of Mildred were golden. She has love in her hands and in her work, and her ideas are 2 years ahead of Paris.